Hi there guys, it's Omega. As promised, I'm back to make these cards and I'm going to make them here on camera. On one of them I have most of my pieces ready to pretty much put together, I think. And this may be kind of a long video because sometimes I don't know exactly what I want to do, such as on this one. I know kind of what I want to do, but not totally, so I'll be figuring that out as we go along on this one here. And just to tell you also, I didn't give a whole lot of detail about the coloring on these, but on this set here I use my Copic markers to color, and I mean, it came out pretty good, but like I said, I'm not great at the shading and you know, detail yet. It needs practice, but I'm getting there. I guess just practice is what you have to do. On this one, and I'm just going to lift all of these up to show you, I use color pencils, and actually this is my first time coloring something like this using color pencils. As you can see, I did do a little bit of shading there. Let me tell you though, with color pencils, to do the blending, because color pencils have most of them I believe have a wax base, and I used my coloring stumps. They're called coloring stumps, and this is what they look like. As you can see, there's color on the tips where I was blending them. And what you use is, I dip those coloring sticks in, this is called Gamsol, and this is just a brand name. I think it's Gamblin. Gamsol is the solution that helps break down the wax and make the coloring pencils blendable. And this was actually given to me as a sample, and it's quite a bit in there, and it's going to last a long time because you don't use very much. But that is what I used. I simply dipped the stump in the Gamsol, and as you color, it actually breaks down the color pencils to do the blending. So that was my first experience actually doing that, and that was my result. So pretty good overall, I guess. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to work on this one first, I think, because I still need to decide on my background. Now, this is some paper that I have that is, let's see, it is K & Company, and I've had it a really, really long time, and I've used bits and pieces of it. And I was trying to decide exactly how I want to put the background. I cut out some doilies the other day, and I decided I want to use my doilies in the background here, and kind of put this together on this 5x7 card. Now again, I'm not sure if I want to use the reddish color. I'm kind of leaning towards the green, because of the fact I think it pops more on the green. So that's what I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut this down to mat on my 5x7 cardstock. So I have my little cutting tool here. So this is my Stampin' Up cutter. And since that's 5x7, I think I'm going to go with 5 4 7/8. I think that's what that is. By 6 7/8. I want to make this mat just slightly smaller than the card base. So I'll have a white just a slight white border going all the way around. So I'm going to use the green side, and so I'm going to simply use my okay, getting stuck already. Use my tape here to get this down. I like to get that as close to the edge as possible also. And get that mounted on. And there's actually something I want to do that I thought about after the fact on these flowers, and I'll show you here in just a moment. Let me pull that up before it sticks. I think it's already stuck for the most part. I'm off just a little bit, but we're okay. I'm just going to leave it down. What I wanted to do here is just a little bit of molding on my pieces. And so I'm going to use okay, I have several sets actually of these stylists that have the little ball that you use when you're making flowers to kind of shape your flowers to give them a more realistic look. And I like this one a lot because it has a huge ball here on the end. This is a tonic set that I have. And then I do have the Sizzix set of stylists. I actually have more down there that I got when I got the some of the dies that they have for making flowers. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take this one, and what I'm going to do is on my pieces I'm going to try and give them a little dimension by going around the edges. So as you can see, this vase is of course flat, but I want to give it a little bit of dimension by doing a little bit of shaping there with that. And then along the top, I'm just going to go across that top. And so when I affix this to here, it's going to actually have a little bit of lift to it on its own. And I'm going to use pop dots to put this down, but this is what I'm going to do. I did that. I am going to actually use the small end to give the daisies a little bit of dimension here. So in essence, I just kind of scored those. Then I'm going just around the tips here to give them a little shape. So each of the lines, I'm just kind of scoring the lines a little bit. Just to give them a little bit of shape. And then just on the very ends, I'm making it where it curls backwards. And I know on camera you can't really see that, but it does give it a little bit of dimension there. And I kind of like that. So again, each one, just going around to score the lines. And then on the ends, taking the round head and just going around the edges on the back. and that gives them just a little bit of shape. On the roses, I'm not sure what I can do here, but I am going to go through and kind of score some of the black lines. Just to give them a little bit of texture. And I'm not necessarily trying to get every single line, but just enough to give them a little bit of texture there. As you can see, there's lines. Then just around the edge only, I'm just rolling it backwards a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is to start my layering. Now, as you can tell, this piece is kind of a small, it's more of an A2 size, but I wanted to go ahead and use that because I'm going to put the sentiment on the bottom. So I think I'm going to even take it up just a little bit more and put it on just about there. I am going to use my art glitter glue. Let me get it started. Sorry, I needed a paper clip to poke my hole. And I'm going to use the art glitter glue to hold down this on my card. Just kind of going around the edge lightly. And I think that's enough. And I'm going to put it closer to the top than the bottom. Get it straight. And just adhere that to the card. Got glue on my fingers a little bit. And I'm going to use my doily and I'm going to place it kind of towards the top a little bit. And this is just to have a little interest. The thing that I kind of felt like when I put this on there is, you know how some bouquets of flowers have the baby's breath in the roses? That's kind of what this reminds me of, is the way the little baby's breath is just behind and tucked into the flowers. And that's kind of what this reminds me of. So I'm going to put that down where it's more towards the top. Okay. Now, I didn't do anything to my leaves. Let me get my leaves. Also, I want to let that dry a little bit while I do a little bit to my leaves. Okay, which one did I use here? Ah, here it is. So I'm going to go along the lines on the leaves just to score those a little bit. Again, just a little bit of texture. And it was fun coloring these. It was just fun. I feel like a little girl again when I'm coloring. When I was a child, whenever I got allowances or anything like that, usually I would get either a coloring book or I would get, I don't know if you all remember the little cutout dolls that you know, were made out of like cardstock. The doll would be made out of cardstock, and then the clothing out of paper where you could cut them out and then kind of just stick them on the doll with little tabs on the paper. I don't know if you guys, and that's really probably showing my age because that was a long time ago. But I used to get those all the time whenever I had a little money as a little girl, probably in elementary school. But that was one of the things that I loved doing, playing with paper dolls. Okay, so now it's time to build my vase here. Next time I do this card, I'm going to show you how to do the pop-up version of these cards, but for these I just wanted to kind of use the use this for the outside. So I'm going to put my vase down first, and so I'm going to use pop dots on my vase, and I'm going to use kind of a let's see here. Pop dot. Let me see if that's going to be too. I think what I'm going to do is try to round this a little bit more. And I think that pop dot is a little bit too high, so I'm going to peel that one off. I was just testing it to see if it was a little too thick, and I think it is. So I'm going to use this size. So I'm putting pop dots on the back. Oh yeah, and at the end of the video here, I will announce the winner of the giveaway for the stamp set that I'm giving away. I'll do that towards the end. So I'm going to put that right about there. Trying to get it centered just right. Okay, so that's sitting up with pop dots, and let me give it, see if you can tell. You probably can't tell that this is actually curved and it's laying right against the card, but yet it's popped up so that that curve is being, it's, you know, being held up. That gives it some dimension. That's really nice. Next time I do these, I think I'm going to actually glaze my vase with some of the glossy accents. I'm always wanting to call this. Next time I'm going to glaze it with my glossy accents to give it more of an appearance of glass. Sometimes I find it hard to talk and work at the same time. That's funny. Okay, now I'm going to pop up my roses here. I want to kind of tuck my other flowers around the roses and the leaves, of course. So popping the roses up just a little bit. Place those down. Now, one of the leaves, I think I'm going to pop up just a little bit. My Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, they are probably the least height of my pop-up type thing. So with the leaves, I'm going to use them. And what I'll do is put one of my leaves here. Just gives it really nice dimension. I'm going to put one of the daisies on top. So I'm going to use a low dimensional. And what I'm going to do is use some glue. So for this one, I use a little glue and a dimensional. And that's to help it kind of hold. I'm going to put another daisy tucked underneath this side. Right about there. Just make it peek out from around the rose. I want to put another leaf along this side. So I kind of think maybe if I can tuck this one underneath. Oh, okay. I'm going to tuck this one underneath on the bottom. Oh no, I just dropped that. It has glue on it. Okay, so this is real life boo-boos. Fortunately, I think I can scrape off some of that glue. Okay, so I decided to kind of tuck this one underneath. So there's my bouquet. It's pretty much built. So I got one daisy kind of tucked underneath, got my roses, my daisies, and my leaves. Oh, I didn't fasten this leaf down. So, tuck this one right about there. And there is that one. Now I do want to put a sentiment on the bottom here, and I will do that in a little bit. I think I'm going to go on and build the other card. And I also want to kind of curl that a little more. But this is the card. I haven't done anything on the inside yet, but that's basically that card. This one is going to be a little bit simpler because the bouquet is all put together already. So I'm going to use my ATG tape to get my card matted. This card is not quite a 5.5. It's like a 5 1/4 by 5.5, I believe is what it was. And so this card, it's not quite square, but I just felt like this size was better for that particular vase. Okay, why am I having such a hard time matting this? Okay. There is my first mat. And this paper, if you can see, it is dark green with light green polka dots. And the green polka dots are just about the color of the matting. So I just thought that was a good match up there. This is actually paper and that's cardstock, but this was some scrapbook paper and I just like the polka dots. I love polka dots anyway. But I'm gonna mat this one. Okay, that is the beginning. Now I decided to do something a little different here. I'm not sure I'm going to use this doily, but I thought I might just put it behind. But I have this oval. Then this would go on like that. This is the bouquet. For the second one, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this one, but I am going to pop them up. So on this is the only thing I'm going to do a little bit of molding on is the jar. I am going to kind of round the edges here. And that just makes it look a little more dimensional. So go around the edges of the jar, and this isn't going to be seen too much. Okay, I think I'm going to leave this doily off. Isn't that pretty? That's a spellbinder one. And I cut out several doilies the other day. Didn't know exactly what I was going to do with them, but I kind of like the doily on this one. I don't know. What do you guys think? I do like that doily. Sorry, going back and forth. So I am going to put this down as kind of a background. This is something I just had on hand. You know how you cut things out? Sometimes thinking you're going to use it on another project, you end up not using it. So now I'm going to use it on this one. So I'm going to put this down. as my background. Then I can put this down and have it popped up. And where are my pop dots? Let me get the right ones. I don't know about you guys, but you ever, when you're working, you put stuff down and you don't know where in the world you put it? I'm doing that all the time. So a couple of pop dots on this. And let me just put one in the center too. My table gets so cluttered and covered with stuff when I'm trying to make stuff, and sometimes I have to stop and just clear everything away to even continue, but I think I'm okay for today. Getting the backs taken off. Okay. Having a hard time sometimes getting these off. Man, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these. So, I'm going to put that down like so. That looks so nice. It actually, you can see the dimension, at least live, you can see the dimension there. Now, these flowers, I'm not going to do anything more. Actually, I am going to do just around the edges. So I'm doing just around the edges so that they'll curl more towards the card in the jar. Just the edges. There we go. That's nice. And so I'm going to put pop dots on these. To give them some lift. I'm putting a lot, but I just want them to be sure they don't get crushed down. It's hard to get this backing off sometimes. Knocking stuff over. Okay. All right. On this one, let me put a little glue on these so that once it's down, it's good. Okay. Very nice. So that is that one. Hopefully you can see. I hope there's no glare, but that one turned out pretty good, I think. So now I want to put sentiments on, and I hadn't even decided what type of cards this will be. This one says hello, so I think I'll put something like, since it says hello, I think I'm going to put something just on the inside, like a thinking of you. So as you can see, the jar says hello. So I don't think I'm going to put anything else on the outside, but on the inside I'll put something about thinking of you or something like that. This one, I'm not real sure what I want to call it. Should that be a birthday card or what? I think I am going to make it a birthday card. So on this one, I'm going to put a birthday sentiment. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and you guys have to forgive me because sometimes I forget to turn the camera back on. But what I did is I put a sentiment on the bottom there. I decided to make this a sympathy card because I actually need one right now. And I thought a vase of flowers is a perfect sentiment to go along, a perfect focal point to go along with a sympathy card. So that's what it's going to be. And actually, I cut out the sentiment, and then when I cut out the black background, it was a little bit too bold. So what I did is just cut it down. So it's not perfect, but I just didn't want the black part to be overpowering. So anyway, that's what I did there. So now what I'm going to do is put my inside sentiment, and I use some of the same paper as outside that I'm going to mount on the inside here. And I'm going to put my sentiment right there. But I'm going to first stamp it on with my Misty. So, let me see here. So I'm going to put my sentiment on, and it says, oops, I have it upside down. It says, may your heart and soul find peace and comfort. And I'm going to put it right about there. I'm going to make sure it's not crooked. I think that's pretty good. And it's a clear stamp. This stamp set I've had for a little while. It's a set of, let me see if I can find some white paper here. Let me show you this set of stamps. It's really a large set of sentiments, and it has various different kinds. I forget what brand of stamps these are right offhand, but this is where I got the sentiment from, this one here. Okay, and I'm using my dye ink by Ranger. I'll probably need to stamp it a couple of times. Yep, give it one more. Yep. Okay, that's perfect. Perfect. And let me clean my stamp off. I like to clean mine off right away. Dye ink sometimes will color your stamps, so the quicker you clean it off, the better for the stamps. Okay, I still love my Misty, guys. I love the Misty. It really was a unique, awesome invention. I wish I had thought of it. I wish I had thought of it. Okay, so now I'm going to put that in my card, and this card will be done, and I can now finish my other card. The other card Like I said, it just says hello, and I think I'm going to leave that as the outside sentiment, and then on the inside I'm going to stamp something. So let me mat this, and then that. Along the way, I'm telling you, you can change your mind so many times sometimes. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm even in frame. So I'm just going to put that in there. And that is my inside sentiment for this card. So that card is done. Now this one says hello. And this stamp set has a sentiment that says side by side or far apart, friends are always close at heart. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use that. Most of my closest friends are actually very far away right now. And I miss them so much. I think I'm going to wing this one. And by wing, I mean just stamp it on. One shot does it. Then if I mess up, I can always put something over it and restamp it inside the card. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just put this down, one shot deal. If I mess up, I'll cover it up and start over. And I think it did pretty good. That's a very small sentiment for the inside of the card. But you know what I usually do for my cards anyway? I'll write something on this side and sign that side. So it's still a nice sentiment. So guys, that is my card. So the woman who makes these stamps by Stampendous also does this die set here that makes it where you can create pop-up cards using the bouquet, especially this one. Okay, I've lost my other card. Here it is. Oh my gosh. Especially this one, or when you're doing multiple pieces. This die set will make a pop-up card. So the next time I use these, I will make a pop-up card and show you how these work, how the dies work. Alrighty guys, now it is time to announce the winner of the giveaway. So this is the stamp set, only the 2 pieces in this one. So a mason jar and the little bouquet of flowers, and then the cutting dies, and then there's some sentiments here. Thank you, happy birthday, smile, and this one is cute, which I used in one of my cards. Side by side or far apart, friends are always close at heart. I thought that was a cute sentiment. But anyway, now these do not have the pop-up element to them. So the winner of this giveaway is my subscriber, Laura, and her YouTube title is Laura Loves to Craft. So Laura, I'll be reaching out to you to let you know that you won. So I hope you will enjoy using the stamp set, and I will be back to actually show you guys how to use this die set. This is the die set that creates the different elements of the pop-up card, and then there's other elements here to actually decorate the card. So I will make a card showing that. My cards did not show the pop-up. I simply used my stamps to decorate the outside of my cards. So those are my cards from this particular stamp set. And so this is my card from this stamp set, and this is my card from this stamp set, which I use this base and the flowers and the daisy and the leaves. I didn't use this or the butterfly. This is also the die set that I purchased for that stamp set. But those are the cards. So guys, I will talk to you later. Laura, I hope you'll enjoy the giveaway. And like I said, I'll touch base with you to let you know you've won, and then you need to send me your information. I'll get this out to you as soon as possible. Alrighty? So thank you guys for watching. Thank you all my subscribers. I hope to have more giveaways coming up soon. So stay tuned. I will be back with more. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.